Here is the recap of the first 2 seasons of One Piece. In the fantasy world of this universe, the planet is almost completely covered by water. People who love freedom and adventure become pirates, but they are always opposed by the Marines. One day, the government catches one of the most famous pirates named Gol D and is about to execute him. Before he dies, he informs the people that he has hidden countless treasures somewhere in the ocean. After that, a new era of pirates began, wanting to get the One Piece. The main character is a boy named Monkey D. Luffy. He lives on an island where pirates often come, but they are friendly and protect the locals from the bandits. Luffy dreams of becoming a pirate, and time after time asks Captain Shanks to take him along. However, the man does not want to put the little boy in danger. One day, Luffy finds a strange fruit in the pirate's treasures and eats it. After that, he acquired the ability to become rubber. It turns out that in this world there are devil fruits, giving people unique abilities, but you have to pay for it. Now the person who ate the fruit will never be able to swim, and the seawater takes away his strength. Meanwhile, the village where Luffy lives is attacked by bandits, but Shanks' pirates manage to defeat them without any problems. Luffy is captured by the bandit leader, and Shanks goes to rescue him. At that moment, the boat is attacked by a giant sea monster. The man manages to stop it, but loses his arm. Shanks gives Luffy his straw hat and sails away. He promises that sooner or later he will become the Pirate King and find one piece of Gol D. After a few years, the grown-up Luffy goes on his own adventure, but his boat starts to sink, and he sneaks onto Captain Alvida's pirate ship. There he meets a guy named Kobe, who got here by accident and is a slave here. His dream is to become a Marine, and Luffy supports his ambition. Luffy fights Alvida and defeats her, after which they take a boat to the nearest island. It turns out that there is a base of Marines there, and Kobe decides to stay to enlist. While they are sitting at the bar, a green-haired stranger walks in and stands up for a girl who was being bullied by one of the Marines. A fight ensues, but although the man wields a sword, he doesn't kill anyone. Later, he is taken to the captain of the Marine, Morgan, and it turns out that one of the sailors beaten in the bar was his son Helmeppo. We learn that the green-haired boy's name is Zoro, and he is a pirate hunter. But Morgan decides to punish him and sends him to hang in the sun for a week. We are also shown Zoro's past. As a kid, he wanted to be the strongest swordsman, but he was always beaten by his friend, and they promised each other that they would keep going after their dreams no matter what the cost. One day the girl dies, and he takes her sword to himself to still continue on the path of becoming the best swordsman together. Meanwhile, Luffy is going to steal a map from Captain Morgan's office. With this map, he will be able to overcome the so-called Grand Line, which I'll talk about later. Along the way, he frees Zoro and offers him to join his crew, but Zoro is reluctant to join him. Soon, Luffy meets a girl named Nami in a marine uniform, but realizes she's a thief who also snuck into fleet headquarters to get a map. Together, they manage to retrieve the safe where it lies, but they are surrounded by Marines. The main characters begin to fight, and are joined by Zoro. Eventually, they defeat Morgan, and the trio escape from the island on Nami's boat. Soon, Vice Admiral Garp arrives at the base. He learns that Captain Morgan missed the pirate who stole the map, and also realizes that the local Marines are corrupt and punishes the officers. He then takes the cadets, including Kobe and Helmeppo, with him and sets off after Luffy. The three main characters open the safe with the map of the Grand Line, and Nami tells them how the world works. On the globe, apart from a huge number of small islands, there is only one thin continent that circles the globe from north to south, and along the equator runs the so-called Grand Line, a dangerous current inhabited by giant sea monsters, and where ordinary people are afraid to sail. Only brave pirates go there, as it is rumored that at the end of the Grand Line is the One Piece. So the long continent and the equator divide the two oceans into 4 parts, which are called North, East, West, and South Blue. Suddenly a gas bomb explodes on the main character's ship, and they start to lose consciousness, but Luffy manages to swallow the map. The team comes to their senses on the stage of the circus, where they meet the pirates of the clown buggy. But instead of the audience sit chained people from the local village, who are obliged to applaud the kidnappers all day and night. Buggy reveals that he's been planning to steal the Grand Line map from the Marines for a long time, but the main characters beat him to it. Luffy has no intention of giving up the map, but it turns out that the clown is not as simple as he seems. He also ate the devil fruit. Now the pirate can separate any part of his body and control it at will. Eventually, the main characters manage to defeat him. They free the shackled people, after which they head to the next island. Soon it turns out that the main character's boat will not last long. They arrive on an island famous for its ships and meet Usopp, a local boy who is very cowardly, but honest and willing to do anything for his friends. He takes the main characters to the owner of the shipyard, with whom he has been friends since childhood, and Luffy asks her to give him the ship, which he saw on the wharf. Soon it turns out that the butler and the servants are pirates who are planning to kill the shipyard owner and take her money. The main characters stop them, for which the girl gives them a ship. Luffy offers Usopp to become a member of their team, and he agrees. After that, the four go to sea. Meanwhile, the Marines catch up with the main character's new ship, and we learn that Vice Admiral Garp is Luffy's grandfather. The old man demands that they surrender and throws a cannonball at them, but Luffy deflects it and breaks the mast of the Marines. After that, the Straw Hat pirate crew manages to escape. Soon the main characters meet the ship's restaurant Barati and decide to grab a bite to eat. They meet a chef named Sanji, who turns out to be a good fighter. He tells Luffy that he has wanted to be a chef since he was a kid, and his dream is to find a place called All Blue, where all the ingredients in the world exist. When he was a kid, he was taken under his wing by Zeph the pirate chef and has been working for him ever since. Sanji can't leave his mentor, but the chef insists that he go after his dream. Meanwhile, Vice Admiral Garp contacts Mihawk via Den Den Mushi, a sort of local radio, and asks him to find his grandson. Kobe overhears this conversation and learns from Helmeppo that Mihawk is one of the 7 warlords of the sea. Roughly speaking, they are pirates in the service of the government. They perform dirty deeds for the government, and in return they can continue to pirate with impunity. Kobe argues to Garp that such a thing does not fit his idea of justice, to which the old man replies, "The world is a much more complicated place than described in the books, so sometimes even the Marines have to get their hands dirty." Soon Mihawk finds the Straw Hat crew. Zoro recognizes him, and he turns out to be the strongest swordsman in the world. As Zoro has a dream to take his place, he challenges him to a duel. Mihawk turns out to be much stronger than Zoro and seriously wounds the guy. But he decides not to take Luffy at Garp's order, as he sees a new generation of pirates in his crew and thinks they have a future. Zeph and Sanji tend to Zoro's wounds, but there's a chance he won't survive. However, Luffy has faith in his friend. Suddenly, fishmen pirates appear on Barati. Their leader Arlong reports that he is looking for Luffy. He finds him with the help of Buggy the Clown's head, whose ear has been with the guy in the straw hat all along. Luffy fights the villain, but loses. Afterward, it turns out that Nami works for him and serves on his crew. She takes the Grand Line map and leaves the restaurant ship with the pirates. Luffy is upset as one member of his crew has left them, and another is on the verge of death. Zoro soon comes to his senses and promises that he will never lose a fight again and will always be loyal to Luffy. Sanji the cook joins the Straw Hat pirates, and Luffy announces that he is going to go to Arlong. Luffy is intent on getting Nami back, as he thinks she doesn't really want to be there. The others ask how Luffy will find the fish people. He reveals that he managed to steal Buggy's head from Arlong, and he knows where his headquarters is. We learn about Nami's past. One day her village was attacked by Arlong pirates. They killed her mother and forced the villagers to pay huge sums of money every month, or they would kill everyone. A brave girl, Nami, went to the fish people and proposed a trade. 100 million belly, that's the name of local currency, in exchange for the freedom of the village. She promises to earn this money in a few years, while working for Arlong as a cartographer. After 8 years, she accumulated the money and reported it to the pirate. However, the Arlong stole all her savings and attacked her village again as a terror. At this time, the Straw Hat Pirates arrive on the island and learn Nami's story. Luffy finds the crying girl, and she asks him for help. After that, the entire crew heads off to Arlong. Each of the main characters contributes to this battle. Even the cowardly Usopp manages to defeat one of the fishmen. Eventually, Luffy defeats Arlong and destroys everything he has spent so long creating. Meanwhile, Buggy the Clown finds his body and escapes. In the evening, the locals honor the Straw Hat crew as heroes, but suddenly Garp appears. He demands that Luffy surrender and go to the Marines like the old man always wanted, or else he'll arrest the boy and his friends. However, Luffy is not going to give up his dream, and Garp gives up. He leaves. The Straw Hat Pirates board a ship and head for the Red Line, the first obstacle on the way to the One Piece. At this time, Garp decides to take on Kobe and Helmeppo's training. Buggy teams up with Alvida with the intention of killing Monkey D. Luffy. Mihawk meets with Shanks and tells him about the Straw Hat Pirates, to which the man is incredibly pleased. Meanwhile, we are shown a certain man burning a cigarette on a flyer about a Luffy wanted, the sum for the capture of which is 30 million bellies. This is the end of the first season. The Straw Hat Pirates sailed to the island where Logue Town is located. It was here that Gol D. Roger was executed in the past, and now every year the locals hold a festival celebrating this event. We also learn that before his death, Roger asked Vice Admiral Garp to take care of his son, as children should not be held responsible for the sins of their fathers. Meanwhile, the main characters decide to stock up on provisions and rest before the difficult journey ahead. Zoro goes to a sword shop, where he buys 2 incredibly rare katanas and meets Tashigi, who is also obsessed with swords, but he doesn't know yet that she is a Marine officer. Tashigi and her captain, Smoker, are busy catching pirates who come to this city. By the way, Smoker ate a devil fruit and can now turn into smoke and control it. Luffy has always dreamed of seeing the scaffold where that fateful execution took place, so he goes there. But Buggy the Clown and Alvida are already waiting for him. They knock him out and chain him to a sea stone, which works on people who have eaten the devil fruit just like seawater, completely depriving them of their strength. Learning of Luffy's dream to become the Pirate King and find the One Piece, Buggy and Alvida decide to execute him on the scaffold. But Luffy does not give up on his words and laughs at what is happening. This is exactly how Gol D. Roger laughed on the day of his death. Smoker notices this and realizes how dangerous Luffy can be. However, a sudden bolt of lightning strikes Buggy, and Luffy survives. Smoker tries to catch him, but Dragon, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, appears and helps the boy escape. The Straw Hat crew fights off the pirates and Marines, then continues on their way. In this city, Luffy also meets the pirate Bartolomeo, who admires the main character. Soon, the team reaches the Red Line, the continent that encircles the entire globe. Now, to reach the Grand Line and find the One Piece, they need to cross this mountain, but they can only do so by navigating the turbulent currents flowing upward. The main characters succeed, but when they descend, they fall into the mouth of a huge whale. Luffy, trying to stop him, passes out and comes to the shore, where he meets Crocus. Later, we learn that he was a doctor in Gol D. Roger's crew. Meanwhile, the other main characters inside the whale try to repair the ship and meet 2 assassins, Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday. These assassins work for the Baroque Works organization, and their goals are not yet clear to us. We only know that their people are involved in various dirty deeds around the world. The Straw Hat crew easily defeats the pair and takes them prisoner. Meanwhile, Luffy persuades the whale to release his crew. After that, they became friends. Crocus explains that a normal compass does not work on the Grand Line. They need a so-called log pose. There are many islands along the Grand Line. Roughly speaking, after magnetization, the log pose shows the nearest random island, and this is almost the only way to determine directions on the Grand Line. Crocus gives one to Nami, and the crew sets off. After talking with the hostage assassins, Luffy feels in his gut that he can trust Miss Wednesday. He unties her, and she frees her partner and runs away. After a while, the main characters arrive on an island where all the inhabitants are acting too friendly, and it soon becomes clear why. The entire city is populated by agents of the Baroque Works organization. They kill young pirates, pick their pockets, and receive rewards for their heads. But it turns out that Miss Wednesday is Princess Vivi from the Kingdom of Alabasta. She and Igaram, the captain of the Royal Guard, infiltrated this organization because Baroque Works was involved in the start of a civil war in their kingdom. Vivi has been exposed, and now she wants to escape on the Straw Hat Pirates ship. While Zoro kills 100 agents of the organization, the others run into Baroque Works officers Mr. Five and Miss Valentine. Both have eaten devil fruits. She can change her weight, and he can use his bodily fluids as explosives. Igaram realizes that they are too strong, so he asks the main characters to help Princess Vivi get to her kingdom. The man sacrifices himself so that the team can leave the island. Suddenly, Miss All Sunday, one of Baroque Works' strongest officers, appears on the main character's ship. She easily neutralizes the crew, as she has eaten a devil fruit and can now create parts of her body on any surface. Miss All Sunday has no intention of fighting and offers the main characters a place to hide from Baroque Works agents who want to kill Princess Vivi and their entire crew. Luffy refuses to run away, so Miss All Sunday warns them that the next island is very dangerous, and then runs away. When the crew reaches the shore, they learn that dinosaurs still roam here. The main characters split up and separately encounter two giants, Dory and Brogy. It turns out that they came from Elbaf Island and have been fighting for 100 years for a reason they don't even remember. Soon, Baroque Works agents also arrive on the island, and Mr. Five poisons the giant's drink. Because of this, one of them loses the battle to the other. The second giant is covered in wax by Mr. Three. He ate a devil fruit and now, as you understand, can create and control wax, which becomes as hard as stone when it hardens. The agents capture almost all of the main characters. While we can say that the hypnotized Luffy is sitting on the beach with Miss Goldenwick, Mr. Three tries to create a wax sculpture of Vivi, Nami, and Zoro. Usopp initially tries to escape, but the wounded giant's speech inspires him, and at the most crucial moment, he saves his friends. In the end, the main characters deal with the agents. Sanji finds a special log pose in their belongings that points to the Kingdom of Alabasta. Now they will be able to take Vivi home as they promised her. Meanwhile, the giants remain unharmed. They help the Straw Hat crew leave the island and bypass the huge golden fish blocking their path. Smoker and Tashigi want to find Luffy, as they consider him dangerous, and ask Vice Admiral Garp for permission. He grants them permission, but also asks them to capture one of the Baroque Works assassins alive and reveal the identity of their leader, Mr. Zero. The officers sail to the Marines' communication station, but they discover that the assassins have killed everyone there and destroyed all the equipment. Tashigi manages to take down one of them, but they are unable to extract any information from him. However, Smoker retrieves a recording of a conversation from the damaged Den Den Mushi and realizes that Baroque Works is somehow connected to the Kingdom of Alabasta. Nami becomes seriously ill and her condition only worsens. The main characters don't know what to do and decide to find a doctor on the nearest island. They are lucky, as the Kingdom of Dram is home to the best doctors. However, when they reach the nearest village, they learn that the local tyrant, Wapol, has fled the island with all the doctors. This is due to a recent attack by Blackbeard's pirates. There is only one doctor left, but she lives on top of a mountain and the locals consider her a witch because her methods differ from those of other doctors. Nami could die at any moment, and the lifts are not working due to bad weather. So Luffy ties her to his back and climbs up the slope with Sanji. Suffering from severe frostbite and other injuries, the main characters finally reach the peak, but lose consciousness and are picked up by some unknown creature. Soon, everyone comes to their senses. They learn that Nami was cured by Dr. Kureha and her apprentice, Tony Chopper. We learn the story of this unusual animal. Several years ago, an ordinary deer ate a devil fruit that gave him the ability to transform into a human. Because of this, he was expelled from the herd, and people considered him a monster and wanted to kill it. Dying from his wounds, he met the eccentric Dr. Hiruluk, who had dedicated his life to saving people. He treated the creature's wounds and, after a while, became his friend. It was he who gave him the name Tony Chopper. After the death of the ruler of the Kingdom of Drum, the dictator Wapol ascended the throne. He oppressed the citizens of his country and locked up all the doctors he could find in the castle. Hiruluk wants to save this kingdom and tells Chopper a story. In fact, it is a story about him, but he tells it as if it happened to someone else. One pirate had an incurable disease and was expected to die soon. One day he saw cherry blossoms blooming on top of a mountain, and their beauty cured his illness. Now Hiruluk is trying to create a medicine that can cure all the people in this country. He and Chopper have been trying to create this medicine for a long time, but to no avail. Hiruluk's illness returned, and the doctor did not want the deer to see him die, so he sent him away from his home. Chopper did not understand why he did this, but after overhearing a conversation between Hiruluk and the Dr. Kureha, he realized that his father was dying. He finds a mushroom that, according to legend, can cure any disease. Hiruluk realizes that it is a poisonous mushroom, but eats it anyway and says goodbye to Chopper. He then heads to Wapol Castle, as he has heard that the doctors kidnapped by the king have fallen ill and there is no one to treat them. It was all a deception, but Hiruluk is glad that everyone is well. After a passionate speech, he blows himself up, sowing seeds of doubt in Dalton, the captain of the Royal Guard. And in the present, it is he who takes care of the population of the Kingdom of Drum. After everything that happened, Chopper becomes Kureha's apprentice, and the old woman learns that Hiruluk created a medicine before his death that could save their country. Meanwhile, Baroque Works gives the devil fruit to the dictator Wapol, who sponsored their organization. Now the villain has acquired the ability to devour anything and create any device from it. Returning home, Wapol wants to reclaim his kingdom from Dalton. He sends his reworked soldiers to the town and heads to the castle himself. While Zoro and Usopp fight the monsters below, the other main characters battle Wapol and his minions. We also learn that Chopper can take 3 forms depending on the situation. Luffy defends Hiruluk's pirate flag, which inspires Chopper. After that, the main characters defeat Wapol, and all the monsters in the village become human again. Luffy invites Chopper to join their crew, and he accepts. Meanwhile, Kureha loads the medicine created by Hiruluk into a cannon and fires it into the sky. After that, the entire island is transformed into a blossoming cherry tree, and the snow turns pink. The main characters set sail and tell Vivi that she is a member of their crew, and that they will help her save her kingdom. In the final scenes of the episode, we learn that the leader of the criminal organization Baroque Works is Crocodile, one of the 7 warlords of the sea. And Miss All Sunday's real name is Nico Robin, and there has been a bounty on her since childhood. This is the end of the 2nd season. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the like button. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.